The feed got cut off in the last session, so I'm here doing a second session for y'all here. We're talking about verse 6 or verse 7. Actually, no, 6. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children. Anyhow, the verses here, we're talking about how the priests they used to mean something to God. Now they mean nothing to Him. All these high-ranking priests, the Sadducees and the Pharisees, the two types of priests in the Jewish tradition. Now, if you fast forward a couple thousand years later in the New Testament, from here, it was the Pharisees that killed Jesus. If you think about it, they're the ones that told the Romans to go ahead and crucify Jesus on the cross. The Romans were known to be brutal like that. And the Romans don't care about the Jewish people. Just know that. They only care about Romans, obviously. And the reason why the Jewish people were mad at Jesus, because they thought Jesus was there to lead some type of revolution against the Romans. That's what they thought, but they thought wrong. No, Jesus didn't come to lead no revolution against the Romans. He came to die for the sins of mankind. That was his job, and he did that at the age of 33. But it's interesting that, the Old Testament, now the Holy Spirit pointed this out to me about the Pharisees. Because if you read the word priest is what comes to your mind when you think of the word priest? What comes to my mind is those men that wear the all black and a little white in the middle. Like, that's a Catholic priest. That's what comes to my mind. But you're not thinking of the Jewish priest, are you? The Jewish priests, however, were all blue and all jewels. They wore like jewels. That was their attire. Okay. So it was the Jewish priest, not the Catholic priest, that killed Jesus in the New Testament, unfortunately. So you had the Sadducees and the Pharisees, the only priests in the Jewish tradition. Now, the reason why they were angry at Jesus, because they, like I said, they thought that he was there to lead some type of revolution, but it turns out it wasn't like that. And he got really mad when he said the priests got mad, the Pharisees got mad when they said, "Should we pay taxes to the Romans?" And Jesus responded was, "What is on that coin?" But Caesar, right? He was the Roman Empire at the time. He said, "Render unto Caesar's what's Caesar's, and render unto what's God's God's." So and that really made them angry. The anger towards Jesus from the Sadducees and the Pharisees. So they plotted against Jesus, and that's what happened. They were able to buy out Judas for 30 pieces of silver, sold him out. Judas ratted out Jesus, snitched on Jesus, told him where he was, and then the Romans took Jesus, and then arrested Jesus. Jesus put on trial for nothing. Okay, Pontius Pilate said, "I want to do with this guy. I'm gonna let him go." And then the Jewish were like, no. The Jews were like, no, crucify him. They're like, crucify him. He didn't even do nothing. For what? and somehow another Roman Empire overruled the rule of Pontius Pilate, and they were able to crucify Jesus. So that's a little thing from all the way to the New Testament. There's a connection from the Old Testament here, and that's just stuck out to me, because why would God say something like that? Like, oh, well, these are the same guys that killed Jesus. That's why these priests mean nothing to him. They mean nothing to him, man. You know. So we're trying to give you guys, you know, the history of, because we're still in the Old Testament. This is the history. We'll get in the New Testament later, but it's all connected. So how can you sit there as a Jew and tell me that it's not connected? So that for today, in the 21st century, the Jews have their own religion. It's called Judaism, right? Well, you know, if you slow the word Judaism, look, I'm gonna say it right now. Judaism. What do you hear there? You hear Judas in their religion. That's what you hear, man. Okay, God wanted me to point that out to you guys here. So watch out. They're kind of like, yeah, Judaism. Slow it down. Judaism. That's Judas. See, that's from the Holy Spirit. That ain't from me. The Holy Spirit just wanted me to point that out to you guys. That's what happens when saints are equipped with the Holy Spirit. They can do things like that. I can't do it on my own. I ain't no Jewish scholar. I ain't no Bible scholar. All I am is a saint equipped with the Holy Spirit. That's all I am. And I'm just gonna, you know, let you guys know what God's telling me, and He's gonna tell you guys, speaking through me here. It's sad though. It's a sad fact that all these people were the originals in the Old Testament, but yeah, they want nothing to do with Jesus, Yeshua. They want nothing to do with Him. They're gonna be in denial of who Jesus Christ, Yeshua was, really. They're like, yeah, we accept Abraham, we accept Isaac, we accept Jacob, but Jesus, nah, we want nothing to do with him, man. We're just gonna believe on the Genesis all the way, and then we're gonna reject the Gospels. We're gonna reject Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. We're not even going to talk about the Gospels. We'll just have half of the Bible. That's all we really need, since we're the chosen people of God already. We don't need that Jesus figure. You guys, you Christians, keep that to yourself. That's what's happening in Israel right now. They're like, the Christians can keep their Jesus, or Yeshua. We don't want that. We just want to keep the Abrahams and the Isaacs. That's what we're going to keep here, you know. So that's where you have the line drawn, you know. And it's genius on the Jewish people's part, because, you know, Jews are really, really intelligent. They're like the smartest people on the planet, besides the Asians. Okay, they have a high IQ. They invented the cellular phone. It was the original cellular phone was invented by a Jewish guy. Okay, not many people know that. The first cellular phone, first cell phone, was invented by a Jewish guy. You know, I don't know about computers, but the first cellular phone. This is back in what, the 60s or the 50s or something like that. So, you know, the fact is they know what they're doing. What does the Bible say about Satan? Satan is the smartest angel in heaven. That's why he's able to lead a rebellion against God, because, you know, he's able to trick all these angels to follow him. He's intelligent, and very intelligent. He's not the only most beautiful angel in heaven. Okay. He's intelligent, very intelligent, you know, and it takes a really intelligent being to lead a rebellion against God. Who is Lucifer? Who is Satan? Okay, Satan. Okay, aka the devil. So, what was I getting at here? The Jews. Obviously, it says about Judas, okay, Judas, it says Satan entered Judas in the scriptures. It wasn't really Judas. Satan went into Judas, took over Judas's body, and made Judas do that to Jesus. That's what happened. So somehow a form of the devil went into Judas and did that to the Lord. So, and it wasn't even gold that Judas sold out Jesus. It was silver, right? That's what's mind-boggling. Okay, not even 30 pieces of gold. It was silver. Silver compared to gold is nothing. Even though gold or silver is second to gold. Okay, that's the second most precious metal. But gold, you know, is worth way more than silver. So why did Judas only did this to Jesus for 30 pieces of silver? Well, it's an analogy like anybody could be bought out, obviously sell out. Even a high-ranking disciple of Jesus, Judas, can be bought. That's what God is trying to tell us. Amongst the 12 or 13, one of you is lying. Even Jesus predicted the betrayal of Judas. He said, you're with me, but I know one of you is a phony. One of you is trying to, do me harm here. He only picked 13. And what happened was when Judas betrayed Jesus, the Apostle Paul took his spot. So we still have 13 apostles. And now the Apostle Paul is also interesting because the Apostle Paul was named Saul before he got the name Paul. He was Saul. And Saul, and then he was on the board of the Romans. He was as a Jew hunting Christians. Okay, so after Jesus was crucified by the Romans, you had this Christian hunting camp